What is the history of filing a court appeal? Imagine a world where a wrong decision in a court case could never be challenged or reviewed. That would be a very unfair system. The idea of filing an appeal has been around 4 centuries. It all started with the need to make sure justice was done fairly and correctly. Early courts in England, hundreds of years ago, allowed parties to ask higher courts to review their cases if they believed mistakes had been made. These reviews were called appeals. Over time, countries began creating specific courts just for appeals, so they could handle these requests separately from trial courts. In the United States, the first appellate courts were established in the late 1700s. The Supreme Court was the main court that heard appeals directly from trial courts. But as more cases came in, this system became overwhelmed. To fix this, Congress passed the Judiciary Act of 1891. This law created the United States Courts of Appeals, which are now called the circuit courts. These courts were set up to handle most appeals from federal trial courts, easing the load on the Supreme Court. Before this law, federal courts had limited power to review criminal cases. Starting in 1879, they gained more authority to hear appeals in criminal matters. Later, in 1889, the Supreme Court could hear appeals in capital cases, which involved the death penalty. States also built their own appellate systems. For example, California created its courts of appeal in 1900 to handle routine appeals, leaving only the most important cases for the state's Supreme Court. The process of filing an appeal begins after a trial court gives a final decision. The party unhappy with the outcome files a notice of appeal. This document officially starts the appeal process. After that, the appellate court reviews the case record, legal briefs, and sometimes hears oral arguments. They do not re-examine the facts but focus on whether the law was applied correctly. Filing an appeal is a post-trial step that moves the case from the trial court to an appellate court. It involves specific rules, like deadlines for filing, preparing the trial record, and submitting legal arguments. The appellate court's job is to make sure the trial was fair and the law was followed. Over time, courts have made the appeal process more organized and accessible. This system helps keep the judicial process fair and consistent, allowing parties to challenge decisions they believe are wrong and helping develop the law.